Okay, hello everyone. Sean Clark from Canvas Invaders, here with Kyle Adams, emerging artist in the Toronto scene. We're gonna get him more in the scene, hopefully, and get to know him a little bit better as well. So, Kyle, why don't you give us a little bit of a history of yourself and where you're from, and I guess your art discipline, and a quick description, because we'll go into some questions.
Sure. My name's Kyle Adams. I'm originally from a small town called Morrisburg, which is about an hour south of Ottawa. Moved to Toronto many years ago now, it feels. And just started painting really during the pandemic, and not trained, no art education, just kind of trial and error, and stuck with it. It's been about 5 years now, and that's pretty much where we're at.
Oh, nice. Excellent. That's pretty good pretty creative for just 5 years, and you seem to be producing a lot of work as well.
Trying.
That's good. Let me see here. So was there a specific reason why you came to Toronto, or you just always wanted to come?
Just wanted to be in the city,
Okay.
really. I'm from, like, my town is country.
Okay.
So, like, my mom grew up on a farm, like that type of
Yeah.
very small town,
Mhm.
2,000 people, like
Okay.
one stoplight, like one flashing stoplight.
Okay.
So
Wow.
the city always had the energy, right? Like the
Yeah,
draw,
for sure.
the people, the different cultures, the food.
Mm-hmm.
Just always wanted to be in the city. And in Canada, if you want to be in the city, you want to be in Toronto.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that's why I came. No reason specific.
Okay, that's cool. We're glad you came.
Yeah.
So this is something, it's interesting because you just said your mom grew up on a farm, and I asked this to a lot of artists, and you just said that you started this 5 years ago. Was there, by any chance, were you like creative in other ways as a younger person, or is anyone else in your family, like if you have siblings, are they creative? Maybe not in painting or art, maybe musically talented, or?
My sister could always draw.
Okay.
I couldn't draw. I never drew as a kid, really. Only when I was forced to.
Mm-hmm.
But if you asked me that question 5 years ago, I would say no. But the more I reflect on that, my dad's a carpenter by trade.
Yeah.
So I didn't used to view that as an art. But, you know, to lay a nice hardwood floor, that's an art.
It's
you know,
definitely something.
yeah, to frame a door or a window, or to shingle a roof. Like, there's beautiful elements to that. So in that way, yes. But any painters or musicians or anything like that, no.
No.
Yeah.
So it's what in 2020 had you like, okay, I'm gonna pick up a paintbrush.
Yeah, so it was right before the pandemic.
Okay.
My father went to England for like a work thing. He works for an energy company.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom couldn't go with him, so he asked me to go with him.
Okay.
And I was like, at the time, I was like early 20s, never been outside of North America. I was like, yeah, I'd love
for
to
sure.
go.
Yeah.
So we went to the National Gallery, and I had one of those like existential crisis
Okay.
of, you know, I'm in my early 20s, I don't have a career, I don't have any path, I don't have
You're just living.
I'm just existing, kind of floating.
Yeah.
And when I was in the National Gallery, it wasn't one painting specifically, but you're in a room with a bunch of stuff that's 400, 500 years old. I realized that like all of these things outlived the people, and that was their contribution.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that. I didn't know necessarily painting, but it was kind of that feeling of like, okay, what am I giving to others? Like when I'm gone, like what can I leave behind?
Yeah.
So when I came back, I just literally went to the art store and was like, let's try.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That's it.
That's amazing. You got inspired by seeing. That happens a lot too, and I think that's also the importance of creating like art communities, and having them accessible to everyone, because you never know what's going to inspire you, and when you put yourself in those places or positions, just to see classic works, I'm assuming that it sparks something in you.
Yeah, it's humbling.
Yeah, and just the fact that, like you said, that these pieces will have lived beyond the artist. And by doing so, it actually keeps the artist alive, kind of thing. So that's
a win-win. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So I also noticed with your art, as prior to filming, I was saying I can't remember when I started following you. Obviously, probably in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Everybody.
Everybody. But I noticed there has been. I'm thinking transition, but it's not really a transition. It's probably like a back and forth with the figures. So right now we have this piece, and they're human form, but almost within, I'll say, alien
creatures. I call them creatures.
Yes, but then I saw some of your earlier pieces, and I noticed they had more recognizable human form, I would say. So what's the influence behind the creatures, and if there was any kind of, what's the influence behind the creatures? I'll start with that one.
I think it's two. One, I can't paint good portraits, in my opinion, of humans. So
Okay.
trying to do that, I found it extremely difficult, not fulfilling.
Okay.
Like, I need to learn how to paint, so I had to start painting portraits.
Okay.
It wasn't because I wanted to necessarily, but I need to learn that skill. So kind of going through that and then coming back this way, I kind of just settled on, like, this is what I enjoy to make.
Okay.
It's not so conscious, it's more just a feeling, but I like the element of in between. It's human-like, but it's not human. But you could see these guys at a soccer game or at the grocery store or something. Yeah. So I like that, but I just like colors too. It's just fun. It's very childish in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily know why, but it's I think just through the progress of trying to figure out what your style is, what do you like to paint, just it got me here.
Yeah, this is where you are right now.
Yeah. Who knows in a year where we'll be?
Full-blown aliens.
Yeah.
And another thing I noticed, right away, again, we were talking about this earlier, is the fashion. Are you like a fashion dude? Do you design clothes as well, or?
I used to. I used to sell, resell clothes before it was, I guess, mainstream now. Like sneakers and stuff. I've always collected sneakers. I love sneakers. Yeah. So I'm into fashion, but not. As you get older, I mean, it's like you kind of fall out of love with things, and so I don't do it now, but I like painting it. I like painting logos, and I like dressing them how you would see on the streets. But in the fashion, no, not so much anymore. As I get older, I'm just like same outfit every day.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
it becomes pricey.
Yeah.
To stay fly.
Yeah.
But I really like how you incorporate the fashion in your work. It's one of the things that also makes like figures like this now become like, I don't know anyone with a red face, but this whole image is someone, like I've seen this person before. They're familiar to me, maybe just because of the Invaders jersey and that kind of thing. Yeah,
I also, people relate to it, right? Like, if you go out in the street and you see how many logos there really are, like that's what I realized when I started painting these. I was like, man, we are really just all branded out at all times.
We're supporting
especially
someone.
When you're young, and it's kind of funny for me when I'm painting it. It's comical. I'm like, oh, another logo. It feels like that, but that's people.
But it's also has a sense of belonging. I think, especially when I was younger and younger people, like it. You can find a community, so like you got your Air Force Ones, and I think you got some Pumas here. Yeah. But I think you had a couple with Balenciaga. And like people recognize it, and then it's like, oh, I'm part of that community too. And there's a whole fashion community we all know on Instagram and throughout the world, online and offline. That fashion is always an important part of everyone's. On top of everyone's mind and that kind of thing. So I always thought when I started paying more and more attention, I'm like, damn, the brands, does he work for Balenciaga?
In the future, I'll be expecting a paycheck from them to paint them, but no, it's just I just paint stuff that I would wear or I have or I like. That's really it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I saw on your Instagram page you definitely have some style out there. Seeing you with
you had some
shoes that were like sandally but socks were
Yeah. Doc Martens.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I know off camera we were just talking about community and building a community, and you said you're kind of just been solo right now, but can you think of like the importance of maybe building or being a part of an art community in the city, and if it's important for that to be a thing, for there to be a community?
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about the museums, right? Like having that community of having people around that you can even just bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
Like I get very inspired by other people. So having either friends or colleagues, or even if you view them as competition, which I don't think you should, but you know, you can do that. Having people to bounce ideas off of, you know, having contacts of artists or galleries or curators, whatever, it is important. Yeah. Because, you know, help someone out if you can, because we've all been helped out in one way or another. We all got lucky in one way or another. So I think that's huge, but I don't necessarily know exactly how to do it, but like me and you are meeting, you know, that's a connection. There's different things you can do. Just say yes to things. Yeah. That's a key. As an artist, just say yes to things and take the risk. Yeah.
Okay, well, I won't take up too much more of your time. So where can people find you, like any websites and Instagram handles and that kind of thing, social medias?
Instagram is it's Adams __. I'm sure you can probably link it.
Yeah, I'll link it.
But I'm also www.itsadams.com. That's just my website with all my paintings on it. Okay. That's basically the only place you can find me right now,
That's good. Yeah. Well, everyone please check it out. Kyle Adams, amazing artist. One to follow. Sean Clark from Canvas Invaders signing off.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Cool. That was